Greetings, and welcome back to the MCOC Encyclopedia. Today, we'll be continuing our journey into Act 6, covering all of the easiest paths. If multiple paths are an option in a quest, I will cover them all. Remember that these are just what I found easier, and your roster and experiences may vary. So let's dive in. Act 6, Chapter 2, Quest Number 4, Criminal Elements. Act 6 has officially just stopped being fun, and the next 3 quests are some of the worst you're going to have to go up against. The global in this quest is destructive feedback, and this node can be lethal. At the start of the fight, the defender gains this yellow shield for 10 seconds. Whilst this shield is up, you cannot do any damage. Nothing. Crits, red damage, damage over time, specials, nothing. The shield stores that damage instead. Annoyingly, the damage from special 3s is not stored, but will still deal no damage, so we can't use that to get around this. When the shield expires, all that damage is instantly dealt to the defender in one burst, and then the shield will come back after 15 seconds, so it's up for 10, down for 15. Whilst the shield is down, nothing special happens and you can completely ignore the node. Not so bad, right? Well, whilst the shield is up, if the defender touches you, so they hit you or even into your block, all that stored damage is instantly dealt to you, and they will take none. Given the relative difference in health pools and the expected damage output, this basically means that if you deal some damage into the shield, and then they even touch you, it's game over. So what can we do about it? Well, we have a few options, but this quest will really test your ability to control the AI and to intercept. Remember that while the shield is down, you can play perfectly normally. We'll split our options into 2 groups, champions that can avoid getting hit, and champions that can deal with the damage if you do get hit. In our first group, we have Ghost, Kitty, and Quake. If played perfectly, the opponent will never touch you. If they don't touch you, they can't transfer any of the damage back to you. For our second set of champions, we have Awakened Future Ant-Man, Sig 1 is fine, Awakened Hercules, Sig 1 is fine, and Awakened Corvus Glaive, Sig 1 is fine. Future Ant-Man will reduce the damage to 10% of his max health, and Hercules and Corvus can't die. We can also use Odin's pre-fight protection buff, as this will limit the maximum damage we can take. Finally, the Heimdall synergy can be used to save you once per fight. Getting through this quest, though, is mostly down to you, the player. Whilst the yellow shield is up, you need to avoid letting them touch you, and there are a few ways we can do this. Firstly, if you are hitting them, they can't be hitting you. If you have some ways of easily stunning your opponent, this can really help you keep the pressure going. Strikers can be very helpful here. Doesn't matter which one, just throw it on your champions, and they will really help. Secondly, you can just parry your way through it. You only take damage back that you deal to the opponent, so while the shield is up, if you just go parry, 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 you'll be safe. Finally, any champion with easy access to unblockable can work very well. Think Hulkling, Absorbing Man specials, Adam Warlock, Nick Fury in his second life with enough charges, and so on. This will give you easy openings when the shield is up, so you can really keep the pressure going and make sure they can't hit you back. And if this video is helping you at all, please put a yellow shield on that like button. The path I would recommend is up through Yellow Jacket and Black Widow, turn right through Deadpool X-Force, and then down through Red Hulk. This is a slightly longer path, but there are only local nodes on 2 defenders, the Deadpool and the Winter Soldier, so it is one of the simpler ones. The nodes on the Winter Soldier are pretty irrelevant, but the ones on the Deadpool X-Force are worth looking at. The 90% armor node means that he will take reduced damage from non-critical hits, and Unblockable Finale means that while he is below 25% health, he will go fully unblockable. The power gain node here is more of a relic from pre-buff Deadpool X-Force, and now only really matters if you purify his taunts. 2 of the champions on this path do have fully undexable specials, that's War Machine Special 1 and Winter Soldier Special 2. Deadpool X-Force's Special 2 is also quite tricky to dex, but can be done reliably once you get it down. You will need to be extra careful with these, because if they throw them when there is a large amount of damage stored in the shield, you're going to be in for a bad time. If you prefer a shorter path, you can take Yellow Jacket again, but this time go down the Captain Marvel movie path. You can stun cheese the first 3 fights with Awakened Ronan, and Venom can also be taken with Ronan once he ramps up his buffs a bit. The issue you're going to have on this path is with the Vision Age of Ultron and the Iron Man Infinity War, as they have significantly more health than the rest of the path. Nearly double. Your counters here will be similar to those that I've said before, but watch out for Iron Man Infinity War's last 15%, as he'll be auto-blocking you a lot, and will have constant power gain as long as he has those armor up passives. The boss here is Kingpin, but we also have a Hood Miniboss to deal with. They both still have destructive feedback to deal with, and Kingpin certainly has a few extra surprises. The only extra thing to deal with on Hood is Bane, but you've seen this a few times now, so just remember to time your combos and specials well, and keep the degen timer off you. Hood's Special 2 will also turn him invisible, so best to avoid that if possible. Kingpin, however, is a bit tougher. Firstly, he is fully stun immune, and if you try and stun him, he will gain 33% of a bar of power. He also goes fully unblockable, below 25% health, similar to Deadpool X-Force. Combine this with destructive feedback, and you have quite a nasty combination. Kingpin Special 2 is also quite annoying to decks and will make him go unstoppable for a while, so best to avoid that if possible. However, neither of these fights present anything that cannot simply be played around, and given that I personally believe destructive feedback is still the worst part of these fights, I would recommend that you just bring in good counters for that, and be prepared for longer fights. So for an ideal team, any combination of the champions I've mentioned so far would do just fine. I find Ghost an excellent option for getting around this node, and I will bring Wasp to support her. If you're a good Ghost player and want to go all in on her, that's a perfectly valid option, and I'd recommend adding Ant-Man and Odin here to give really nice support. I won't be doing this, as it would be really boring to watch me just ghost through the whole quest, but it would work just fine. Corvus will go nicely in slot 3, and for slot 4 and 5, I would like to bring Kitty with the Tigra synergy, but I don't actually have Kitty available, so I can't show her. I also don't have future Ant-Man available, so I won't be using him either, but these two would be great options. For slots 4 and 5 instead, I will be bringing Quake, and finally Adam Warlock for an unblockable option. Hulkling would work just fine here as well, over Adam if you prefer that. I probably should bring Hercules, but I really want to get through all of Act 6 without using him. He is a busted champion and will take you a long way if you get him early enough, but I don't want to use him. I would recommend, if you have him and he's been carrying you for a while in Act 6, go back and try some quests without him, just to sort of see what it's like. Fairly soon after this video goes out, I will try and get up a short commentated video of me going through this path with this team. It'll be much more relaxed and less scripted, but should hopefully give some good insights into how I look around getting these issues. I will start answering popular questions from the comments in that video, so please leave yours down below. As always, remember that this is story content, so it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. If you get stuck here and find yourself spending lots of resources, stop and focus on something else. The monthly event quest and side quests are great places to pick up more materials, shards and units, as are battlegrounds and the arena. So that's it. Everything you need to know to clear 6.2.4. Up next, we'll be looking at 6.2.5. 6.6.6 is in the works. I've got Shuri on the way as well. And I'm also working on a tier list, which might be quite interesting. It's in a format that I have never seen anywhere else before, and might be one of the few actually useful champion rankings that there are. Keep an eye out for more announcements in the future, so you can have your say on which champions are covered, and other things on the channel. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.